You, on a deep level, understand hardship, struggle, and pain. And because of that, you are able to empathize with other people. Hey guys, welcome back. It's Missy, and today I thought we would talk about signs that show you how to grow up too quickly. So on this channel, we talk a lot about parentification and being parentified as a child. If you're interested in any of my coaching services, you can contact me on any of my socials or on my website, linked down below. So some of us have had parents that were emotionally immature, or they were narcissistic, or they were abusive, or they just couldn't be the parent that we needed, which then caused us to have to grow up quickly, because if we didn't, we wouldn't survive. So there are certain things that we have had to deal with and certain traits that we've taken on that's caused us to be different than our peers. And so here's some signs that will show that you've had to grow up too quickly. This especially will be helpful if you're questioning if you've had any type of turmoil in your upbringing, and it will show if you can relate to any of these things. It shows, you know, maybe there's some deep diving you should do when it comes to, you know, some things that you're struggling with. So the first thing is that you are independent to a fault. Independence is so important, and it's important that parents teach their children how to be independent, but they also need to teach their children how to know when to ask for help and when they're struggling and when they need a team of support. Because we didn't, as a society, we didn't get to where we are by all being independent and doing things on our own. We have worked together and invented things, and we've grown the society to be what it is by working together. So we can't just be independent. If you are someone that's overly independent, you will struggle with needing to ask for help because you are someone that's never really had to ask for help. And not only that, but it will feel like you failed or you were at fault if you need to ask for help, because it's such an unfamiliar feeling to ask for help, since you didn't have parents that you could ask for help for. You didn't have parents that you could depend on. And also you may notice that it will feel like a hit to the ego, and you have an ego boost, and it's a lot of your identity is doing things on your own. So it feels very unsafe, and you will feel bad about yourself or like there's something wrong with you if you do need to ask for help. You will notice that you really struggle with being a team player and working as a team, because you've always had to be your own problem solver, which is a positive thing that you've been a problem solver, but it's been too much to the point where there are probably things that you're struggling with that you don't even know because you don't ask for help, or you just kind of dismiss it, be like, okay, whatever, I can't do this thing and I'm just gonna let it go, and you are stopping your progress in life because you are not asking for help. The next is that you will notice you are highly adaptable. When you don't have a secure foundation in your upbringing, in your household, then you kind of figure out a way of how to adapt to things. You don't have your needs. Okay, I'm gonna figure a different way to get my needs met. You learn how to figure things out along the way. Like, there's never a time where you become helpless. It's like, okay, I don't have these things, I don't have this tool, I don't have this thing I need. Okay, let me figure out a different way. Maybe I'll drop that thing, or maybe I'll figure a different way to get that thing. So if you were someone that had to grow up fast, you'll notice when you're an adult, when things happen, you'll pivot very quickly. Like, okay, that's fine, we don't have this, let's move on to the next thing, because you had no choice in childhood. Studies have shown that the good thing is that adversity in childhood does enhance your adaptability skills. You're able to deal with stressful situations since you dealt with it very early on, and it's ingrained in your brain that you now can handle things pretty quickly and better, versus children who had more of a smooth childhood. So that's a good thing. The bad thing is sometimes you may notice you will neglect yourself or things that you actually do need because you adapt so quickly and you don't put yourself first, but rather you put what you feel like you prioritize with the potential of self-sacrificing, which isn't always the best. The next is you are overly responsible. So these are the kids that in group projects, they'll be the leader of the group project. In work settings, they'll take on the projects. They'll juggle it all, no problem. They just are able to handle a lot of responsibilities. And if they feel like someone else can't handle the responsibility, they'll take on that responsibility because they're so used to in childhood. Like if you're this person, you had to be responsible because again, survival mode, you had no other choice. The downside is that if you're overly responsible, that leads to feeling the need to be perfect, having fear of failing, having low self-esteem, being addicted to being productive and taking on tasks, and having way too high standards for yourself and even others. You will feel like the world is on your shoulders, and that can lead to like panic attacks and stress and anxiety and even depression. So being overly responsible is not a good thing. Having responsibilities and being responsible is a good thing. It's good for your self-esteem, but when it's too much, then that leads to, you know, the downfall and all the things that I had mentioned earlier. You have to be able to share the load. It's really important. You can't take on the whole world on your own. The next is you will be very empathetic and understanding. And this is different than taking on a lot of other people's emotions, which that can happen, but this is more so because you've dealt with the harsh realities of life and you've been through a lot of turmoils. You will be more understanding and less judgmental of the people around you because you know what it's like to suffer in silence. And so when someone's going through something or they're acting a certain way, you'll be like, you know what, we don't 100% know what that person's going through, because maybe you've had moments where you acted a type of way because you were going through stuff and nobody knew. You, on a deep level, understand hardship, struggle, and pain. And because of that, you are able to empathize with other people. You may even be more compassionate, where you'll be the first one to offer a helping hand, not just an understanding, but also want to help and relieve some others' suffering. There's this deep sense of, because you have suffered or you may have done a lot on your own, you don't want to experience other people experiencing that, or you don't want to see other people experiencing that, so you will want to like give that listening ear. You will want to alleviate that pain, that suffering that another person is going through, because you know what it's like. The most important thing though is that you have to have a healthy balance, and it's a beautiful thing to want to care for others and be there for others, but you can't just sacrifice yourself to the point where it's an addiction and it's your personality and you don't know any better. Like, there has to be a balance of you help others, but you also are maintaining and taking care of yourself and making sure your cup is full first and you're good first before ever offering another hand. The next is, you may notice you are very resilient. So resilience is the ability to basically get back up when you're pushed down. And so if you're someone that's been through a lot of trials and tribulations, you've had no choice but to get back up and try again, especially in childhood. Obviously, if you didn't have someone to rely on as a child, as a helpless child, you can't do anything but get back up and figure out a different way. And that's exactly what you do in adulthood as well. Is like, you're resilient, you're ready to go. And it also goes into psychological resilience. If you're someone that had to grow up quickly, you're able to deal with crisis in a way where you handle it and then you're able to bounce back quicker than someone who's not used to dealing with crises and adversity in childhood. And the last one is, you have a hard time relating to your peers as a child, as a teen, even as an adult. Because you're someone that's dealt with a lot in childhood and you didn't have parents to rely on, you've had to make your own way. And it's different than a lot of other people's way. You've had to cope in a lot of different ways that other people haven't had to cope. And because you've, like, you know, gained up on a different type of level, you'll understand things on a different type of level, and you have a different life experience. The things that your friends are going through are things that are hard for them, but they're on a much more shallow level, or something that's not as harsh as something that you've dealt with, and so it can be hard to relate to them. Like for instance, maybe as a teen your friends are like fighting with your parents about with their parents about going to prom, when you have parents that won't even give you money to go to prom or don't even talk to you on a regular basis. You know, it's like that's like obviously a struggle they're going through, and it sucks and it's hard, but like you're dealing with something where you have so little and you don't have any type of guidance versus someone who has more of a guidance and they are dealing with a typical teenage struggle. So you're dealing with something that shouldn't be a teenage struggle, which is having parents that completely neglect you. So you can see they're different types of struggles. Like they're both struggles, but it's different levels of struggle, and yours will be deeper struggles, and so it will be hard to relate to them, because not only because of these deep struggles, but also because you've already gone through so much and you've coped through so much and you've learned so much and you've gained so many tools that you're going to be on so many different levels with other people. You're going to be on you're going to be more knowledgeable, that it's going to be hard to relate to others, and it can feel lonelier because you have all this deep knowledge and they're going through things that, you know, you've already been through, like way back when, or just I've already overcame a lot. And again, this isn't to diminish anything anyone goes through, it's more so to show the different levels and the severities of things people go through and how they come out on the other end, and how you can not relate to people because your struggles are so much different and out of the ordinary than most other people. So what do you guys think? Leave it on the comments below, and please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and don't forget to share this video. And if you are ever interested in any of my coaching services, again, you can contact me anywhere down below. Until next time, thanks for watching. Bye guys. Because the camera, wait, why is it like that? Is it always like that? There's 4 corners and it looks like I have a unibrow, so I can't even see what my face is doing. That's so weird.